Hey guys, this is Aaron in the edit. We had some audio glitching in Discord, especially in the last half of this episode. So, what we're actually doing is splitting it up. The main plot is going to serve as episode 38. That part of it came out pretty well. There's not nearly as much audio glitching in that first half of the show. The second half, where we discussed our side questing, is going to be a bonus episode that we're going to put out next week because it's got some pretty severe audio glitching in it, so it may be a difficult listen. If you guys still want to try listening to that, it's going to be a bonus episode next week, so stay tuned for that, guys. Thanks for listening. Hello, everybody. Welcome back, listeners, to the show, Tyria then. I'm Aaron. This is Miko. Welcome to the show, Miko.
Hello. Hello.
We're here to chit chat with you yet again for the 38th time about
Yes.
a 20-year-old game.
Yep.
20 years old out as of this year.
I know. Crazy.
Yes, and we were alive when this game came out, which makes us
We
old.
were. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And hopefully you're old too, and also enjoyed this game. And if you're not old and you're coming to this game for the first time, it's great that this
Welcome.
is how you've chosen to experience it.
Yes.
As bizarre of a life choice as that is. Um,
Is it bizarre though? I mean, gamer life.
yeah, you gotta have your second monitor content while you play your first monitor content, right?
That's right.
And all the better if that second monitor content is other people playing your first monitor content. Why play
Right.
Guild Wars when you can play Guild Wars while you watch somebody play Guild Wars?
Mm-hmm.
It's just objectively superior.
Yes.
We have been playing the Nightfall campaign.
We have made it to Vabi. And we're out hanging out with the Vabians.
Yeah, this episode is really I feel like the game is finally coming into its visual potential this episode.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All the sights are really cool in this episode.
And very colorful and pretty.
Yeah, there's like buildings, like real buildings that you can go inside.
I know.
This is like the closest we've come in Guild Wars up to this point to going inside.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Lots of big buildings you can traverse, you can explore them as outposts and also as explorable zones in the quote unquote open world.
Yeah, and there's some weird instances like the amphitheater where you like it's its own special thing. There's a lot of plush furniture that we're going to encounter this episode.
Yes.
It's just a very visually striking time here in Vabi, which kind of backs up what we talked about last episode about how dope looking Vabi is. Because when you come in for the first time, it's kind of samey, but when you really get to like Kodash Bazaar and Resplendent Makun and all those like Prince Baka places, right? It kind of just drips with wealth and flavor.
Yeah.
So, plot wise, where did we leave off last episode, Miko?
Last episode, we made our way into Vabi. We snuck in through a smuggler's route, followed Dunkoro's advice, even when it was patently obvious and he was late giving it, and we defeated General Bale and the Hunger. So we've taken out two of Varish's top homies.
And then Dunkoro proceeded to pout about it.
And then he proceeded to pout about it. He thinks we're running away. And we're like, well, you can go back and raise up your little rebellion, or you can come with us. And he was like, fine. So then we had to go and try to get the princes of Vabi to believe us that Varish, who is on the move and is about to invade Vabi, is actually doing just that. And in order to try to convince them, we have to attend a party.
Because Varish is like, she's got like a fake agreement with the princes. She's pretending that her soldiers are in Vabi for reinforcements. against the
Yes.
Sun Spears,
Mm-hmm.
which doesn't make any
Yes.
sense because the Sun Spears like don't have an army anymore. But
No.
sure, let's go with this bizarre line of logic.
Right. But I guess it tries to, showcase that the Vabian princes are a little bit out of touch,
Yes.
because they are it's a very insular society. They just care about themselves and their wealth.
Yeah, they're like too far gone as far as disassociating with the common
Hmm.
man.
Right.
Um,
So we have to go attend the party. We mimed with a mime and did some other activities,
you
and then
murdered a guard for no reason.
I did. I did. Because I didn't realize I could just smack the NPC. But whatever, you did that for me. And
We like
yeah,
drank ourselves into alcohol poisoning as well, and then
we did.
we're fine like a moment later.
Yes, yes. We drank ourselves into oblivion in a drinking game, and then told the person or the NPC that we love them, because why not? We're drunk. Yeah, and then the princes straight up don't believe us. They're like, no.
Two of them don't believe us. Prince Amtur the Mighty is like, wow, that sounds like a problem. Anyway, he like doesn't
Right.
take us seriously enough.
And
Prince,
then he kind of does.
yeah, and
Sort of.
Prince Baka is just like, well, I'll just see which side is gonna win, and then I'll sign up with that side.
Yeah.
And then Prince Metu the Wise, it must be so. Like I was like offended by this character last episode.
Mhm.
It's dawning on me that he's probably just a satirically written character, right? His name is Prince Metu the Wise, and then they make him
Yeah.
the dumbest character, which is very
Right.
funny. So
Yes.
if that was the intent, then great. If not, then yikes. But yeah, he's awful, and he's also
Yeah.
Takora's dad.
Yeah, he's Talcora's dad. We found that out last time. And at the end of the party, a bunch of harpies attacked. And they were like, well, we still don't think this is really a big deal. We're going off on our own ways. Except for Amtur, who's like, maybe we should do something, but still just goes away.
Yeah, the harpies attacked last episode, and then after we cleaned that up for them, they were like, "Oh God, thank God Varish was here," even though she
Mm-hmm.
wasn't. General Morgan was the only Varishite there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I a little bit clunky on like the dialogue end, expressing how the story is supposed to be going. But if there were like Korn and soldiers there helping fight the harpies, that would have made more sense. But there weren't. It was just
Yeah,
us and the
there
Vabian
weren't.
guards,
Mm-hmm.
and like 90% of the Vabian guards died on my end.
Right.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
And that leaves us standing in the middle of Kodash Bazaar, if I remember correctly, which
Yep.
is like the main hub city of Vabi.
Which is pretty cool.
It's
For a
cool.
hub
Yeah,
city.
it's a cool
Yep.
city. It's very beautiful. It's got some like elevation to it, like you can like go up some stairs and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which Nightfall has been pretty flat so far, I think.
Yeah.
So bringing back the
Running up the
elevation
stairs
of factions,
But
because factions had a lot of
and early Ascalon did as well.
yeah, a lot of up and
Early
down.
Ascalon.
What's the word I'm looking for that they use in gaming to describe when a map has when you can go up and down?
Verticality.
Verticality. That's the one. Yeah. Thank you.
We heard all about it with Heart of Thorns. Look at the verticality. And I'm like, oh my gosh, we can jump off
You
and
can't really
fall
make
really far.
yeah. You can't really add gliding in without adding verticality in.
Right, exactly.
But no gliding here. Just feet
No.
on the ground, Guild Wars / jump kind of gameplay.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't wander around Kodash Bazaar too much, but the parts that I did wander through are very neat. It's like a proper city, with buildings. Kamadan is supposed to be like, it's called Jewel of Istan, but it's kind of just like a field.
Yeah.
Like its marketplace is like canvas and wood poles. Whereas Vabi is like splendid.
Yeah. I think for Istan, Kamadan is quite nice for Istan.
Mm-hmm.
Because, this sounds sort of like its own little island, quite literally.
Yeah.
So, they tried.
Yeah, it stands a fine enough nation, but in comparison to Vabi, kind of anywhere is quaint.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
and Korna's got its like kind of own thing going, right? They like kind of austere, barren buildings and architecture. It
Mm-hmm.
stands kind of like we really like making statues of really like really alien shaped heads.
Yes.
Like we really like making statues of the alien from Alien, but
Mm-hmm.
it kind of ransacked the budget for all the rest of the architecture, unfortunately.
Right.
And then Vabi is like, we have more money than God. Everything is awesome.
Yeah. You kind of get that sense that, like, Istan is not, they're not in their heyday anymore. Like, they're well past their prime.
Yes.
Because old Istani architecture, like Farnor?
Farner's kind of like getting towards the
Yeah.
Kodash Bazaar level of grandeur.
Yeah, like, you could see that it was pretty opulent at one point.
The Scarab Plague, man.
Yeah.
You,
And then that happened.
yeah, Scarab Plague, Palo Joko, like you name it, dude. They've been through it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we're standing in the middle of the city by a fountain, and there is a guy named Royal Food Taster Rendu. Is this the same guy who's a collector outside of Kamadan?
I don't think so. Wasn't he
Okay.
like the cook?
Yeah, I don't remember if he was a Royal Food Taster or like Royal Chef. He's probably Royal Chef, right?
I think he was Royal Chef, the other one.
Yeah.
The
So
one for the, yeah.
yeah, this is like his friend. Um,
Right.
have you
His other
seen
royal servant friend.
Apothecary Diaries, the anime?
No.
Oh, it's about a food taster.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want to get more into guys, anime recommendation, check out Apothecary Diaries.
Apothecary Time. I'm gonna
If
have to check
this
that out.
yeah, if this talking about a royal food taster interests you at all.
Okay.
Yeah, anyway, we got to talk to this one. And he's standing by a fountain, and he directs us to a guy named Vaughn the Venerable. He basically starts the connectivity of the plot threads is very like, and then we're gonna go do this, right?
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of like we've never met. There's a lot of here's a guy you've never met before that's gonna tell you what to do next in this episode.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And he wants us to go meet a playwright named Vaughn the Venerable. Which
The
is
unknown until now Gordon playwright.
yeah, and this is a hyphenated term, unknown until
Yeah.
now. I wrote it in my notes as unknown parentheses until now, which I think is better.
Mm-hmm.
But unknown until now hyphenated is very funny.
Mm-hmm.
Cornyn playwright, he specifies Cornyn as well.
Yes. Yes.
And we have specifically, by name, been invited to this performance.
Yes.
By the playwright himself, who has rented out Prince Baka's theater.
Yep.
Because this is a fantasy world and they don't have movies, so Prince Baka really enjoys the theater.
Right. Well, it's supposed to be like the better art form.
It is, yeah. No, I'm much too plebeian, as the as the Shakespeareans say, to enjoy the theater. How do you pronounce plebeian? Is that how you pronounce it?
Plebeian.
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 The
Plebeian?
Occam's razor.
Plebe.
The simplest is usually
Yes.
the right one. That's me. So we got to go over there, and we need to meet Kahani, who we didn't talk about in the plot summary, but who is like the new Takora, because Takora's in our party.
Is she the new? No. What is our scout?
Yeah, she's kind of the new Narashi. You're right. Yeah, you're totally
she's
right.
the new Narashi. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think Narashi's doing right now?
I don't know.
Just
Probably doing a better job of doing things at the command post than Dunkoro did.
Yeah, everyone in the chain of command is gone. I think Lone Eye and Narashi are just running shit down at the command post.
And I think they're probably doing just a fine old job.
Oh yeah, no, not a single corn and supply caravan has gotten where it needed to go since we left. They're on that shit. But we're stumbling and bumbling around looking for Kahani because we need to tell her about this play. And And I'm able to take some shrine blessings again. I noticed
Oh, good.
only the Lightbringer ones. So I still like
Okay.
when I talk to Vabian guards, they don't have any
Yeah.
Sun Spear training for me.
No, no. They're like, oh, nice to see you guys here. Taking in
Yeah,
the sights.
yeah. But if I find a Whispers
Nice.
guy at a shrine, I can get a Lightbringer point blessing.
Excellent. Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll talk to me too. Actually, now they just have an exclamation point over their head and they're talk to the somebody in the Chantry of Secrets, and I'm like, okay, thanks. I
And,
really just want a blessing.
oh yeah, I was gonna go get that skill from the Chantry, but I didn't. I don't think I'm rank 1 Lightbringer anyway, so I probably can't even have it.
Oh yeah,
What
I did pick that up at the end, but I didn't record it.
There is also a. Did you talk to this collector right outside Kodash Bazaar? His name is Ganlar.
Gamlar. What does he have to say for himself? I talked to a few collectors.
He's another guy looking for fucking Hecate tongues.
Yeah. I found a couple of those. Yeah, they're weird.
What is up with Hecate tongue weirdos?
Dude, I don't know.
At least this guy
I,
is
I
just like, hey, I want it as it's supposed to be a cure-all, which is like a reason I
yes,
can accept for wanting these.
I did talk to that guy, and I was like, what? Yes, I did get some backstory on the Hecates, so we might learn about why the Vabians are obsessed with the Hecates.
Yeah, you did some quests.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, at least this guy doesn't want Hecate tongues to scare children.
No.
He just wants like a cure for gum disease, right?
Right.
So I actually happen to have 5 Hecate tongues. Actually need to go back and talk to this guy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I got my 5th one earlier today while I was helping out my boy Norgu.
Excellent.
We roll up on Kahani. She's in Forum Highlands, I want to say. She's right at or Mirror of Bliss. She's in Mirror of
Mirror of
Bliss.
Bliss. Yeah, she's in
Yeah.
Mirror of Bliss.
Yeah, there's like 2 exits from Kodash
Mm-hmm.
Bazaar, and we go into Mirror of Bliss for this. Because she's at the big dome fountain, floating dome fountain thing.
Yes.
And she's like, she points out, we basically tell her what's up, and she's like, yeah, that seems really weird that they booked out that theater and then invited you specifically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then we're like, well, I guess I'd better go.
Yeah, exactly. Let's go introduce ourselves. Okay.
Yeah. How did that go for you? Where did you go next?
So I went over to the amphitheater area in Resplendent Makun, which is really pretty nice area, I will say.
It is aptly named.
It is very aptly named. And I was expecting to go in through a portal to like a little town, but no, it's all just out there, which was kind of neat.
And it really is a palace.
Yeah, it was a little bit. I had to like find my way. Took a couple of wrong turns. Followed the NPCs that were labeled librarians, which I thought was kind of funny. Yeah, finally made my way over to Prince Baka.
Did you find all the like actors? There's like a bunch of actors in there.
There's a bunch of actors that they're like rehearsing scenes, it seems like, and are criticizing each other for being bad or good.
Yeah, there's not that much interesting dialogue with them. I talked to a few of them, and they're basically like, I'm an actor. That's what I'm here to do. Because Prince Baka likes that.
Yeah, the ambient dialogue is a little bit funnier as they're like rehearsing stuff. A couple of them are criticizing each other. I thought that was funny.
I don't think I saw any of the ambient. I probably just didn't notice it.
Yeah, it pops out. It doesn't come into your chat box, which is kind of a shame. So you have to be like looking up and reading their speech bubbles quite quickly.
Oh damn! I bet I missed them.
Yeah, their speeches can be quite long. So there were times where I was like trying to speed read, and I don't know. I was like, you seem like you have interesting things to say, but I want to get done with this quest.
Yeah, I struggle like with when it just pops up over their head and it's not in the chat box. I really struggle with reading it fast enough.
Yeah,
because it's like little itty bitty, and I just can't get there.
Yeah, but it's good flavor when you do kind of can linger in one spot because the dialogue does repeat. So If you are just AFKing or just kind of sitting around doing nothing, clearing up water spills, then maybe you can watch.
Did you have an experience cleaning up water spills during
I
your playthrough?
did. Yeah, yes.
So
I knocked over an entire glass of water. It was
the moment when that happens and you're just sitting there staring at it and
yeah.
you're
And
trying to
I'm
tell
like,
yourself like you need to go do something about it before it ruins your keyboard, but you just sit there and stare in disbelief hoping it'll go away. Yeah.
yeah. Fortunately, it didn't fall on my keyboard. It was just all over the. I probably should clean that up, like now.
Right, and now it's on the floor and you're like, "Well, it's not ruining anything. I could do it later."
Right. It's just water.
Yeah. And then you remember, "Oh, right, mold. All right, let's go."
Yeah, exactly.
There is a guy named Brehan Chahu, who's like, I thought this was cool. He's like the theater troupe's special effects guy.
Oh, I didn't find that guy.
Yeah, and he's like, dude, there are secrets to like smoke and mirror effects, right? And he brings up the idea of using dry ice to make smoke.
Nice.
And obviously, like the world of Tyria, apart from all the crazy magic and wacky materials, probably has all like the fundamental things that like the
Right.
real universe does, right? So
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
perfectly feasible that dry ice exists in Guild Wars. I've just never contemplated it once.
Right.
So I like that dry ice is real in Guild Wars, even though it's not unreasonable that it is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was kind of an interesting NPC that I ran across in
hmm
there. But yeah, Prince.
I ran into the theater manager and he's like, I'm really right now. And he wouldn't talk to me. And I was like, I wonder if he'll have a quest later on.
I feel
And
like
I
the
forgot
theater
to go check.
manager was that the guy who was like, no, the I ran into the custodian, and he said he
Okay.
makes like really good money cleaning Baka's palace. Apparently, it like pays the big bucks to clean up after Baka and his like insane parties. Apparently,
That I can believe that.
yeah. And you're right. It's after like twisty turning through many passageways. Like it is a long walk through this palace to get to Baka. He is
Yeah, it
deep in
is.
here. This is a like a
He really is.
defensible. This is the Helm's Deep of throne rooms.
It really is.
But here's the thing: one, if you're getting attacked here and your enemies do make it to the throne room, there is nowhere for you to go. Like this
Yeah,
is
no,
the
you're
end of
pretty
the
much
line.
screwed. Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
it's like more splendid than all of Kaineng City.
It really is.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, Vabi's just different. All right.
hmm
Whatever opulent empire you think you have, Vabi's just different, and he's got like a throne. He's got like 8 like giant couches. I like walked up to these couches. They're huge.
Yeah.
It's like
With
a
like the huge ass pillows, like
yeah.
just
It's like a
lay
hookah
down.
lounge.
It really is. Yeah.
Um, and he's sitting
Mhm.
there like getting fanned. I don't know if they actually animated anyone fanning him, but it's just that room where you see a guy sitting there, and you're like, that guy would get fanned.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
and he basically says that he feels safe with Varish, and that he actually calls the Sunspears fools for attacking Korna.
Yeah. Yeah, he does.
He's not very nice or considerate.
No. No. But he's also a big old fop. Like he thinks that his money is going to insulate him from everything.
Yes, no, he's very used to. He's the guy who solves any problem he has with money, right?
Mhm.
And so his strategy is, well, I think Varish is real swell. I'm gonna put my money on Varish, right?
Mhm.
And then I
Yeah.
think he wants us to join him for this Von the Venerable theater performance that we've all been invited to.
Yeah, he tells us to go and introduce ourselves to Vaughn to watch the special advance performance.
So this is like a
Um,
pre-screening.
it is a pre-screening of the play.
Yeah,
Yes.
this isn't even the premiere. This is like when all the bigwigs get in like a room with 15 seats.
Yeah, you're like at the Cannes Film Festival here.
Exactly. Yeah, except it's
Yeah,
Baka's private theater festival.
exactly. Yeah.
um,
So when you rolled up on Vaughn, what did you think to yourself?
the first thing I thought to myself is all of this huge opulent palace with all of these couches, a throne. There's seats everywhere, even in this theater instance, and Prince Baka is standing while he's watching this play.
I thought that too. I was like, well, why aren't you sitting down, bro?
I was like, they went to so much trouble to make this man have a luxurious palace, and they like made his model kind of portly, right? They've the
Yeah.
first quest, one of the first quests you do in the whole game is about how much this man likes to eat, right?
Yes.
This is not a man that
Yes.
stands for his play performances.
No, no. And yeah, he would have been sitting, he would have been fanned.
But as far
And
as I know, there's no way to make the NPC sit like on a piece of furniture. They would just have to do like the slash sit to have him kneel on the floor, which would be more weird.
right, right.
So this was the best compromise given the engine limitations, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you come in, he's standing there looking at Vaughn and his troop.
So we must remember though here that Vaughn and his troop, they're in character.
And in
So
costume.
they're in costume, they're in character, and they are looking like our friends Rurik and his dad. And there's some guy who's dressed up as a char.
And these are like
Um,
if we're talking photorealism in the context of this world, their costumer should be like given a raise.
Oh yeah,
Because
100%. I was like, why is Rurik and what's his name, the King of Ascalon here, and why is there a dwarf, and why is there a char? Like what? I was
yeah.
very confused at first, and then I realized, no, they're the actors.
Yeah, because like if this was Guild Wars 2, they would make the characters look like they're in like crappy costumes, right? But
Mm-hmm.
instead, this is Guild Wars 1 in 2006, and they've just used the models for like a Char and Adelburn and Rurik.
Yes.
So yeah, you've just got like the real characters standing on the stage there, but they're named like Vaughn the Venerable and Meduk the
Yeah,
Mighty or whatever.
Vaughn the Venerable is Rurik, right?
Yes.
And Ernold the Exact is Adelburn, and who's Merkel the Muscular? Merkel the Muscular, I think, is
No, I think Merkel the
no,
Muscular is
Merkel is
Adelburn.
Adelburn. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and
right. And
then
then
Ernal,
Ernold is the
the
dwarf.
dwarf, the Stone Summit.
Freya the Firm is the Char.
Yeah, they're all like Lemony Snicket characters
Yeah,
with
and
alliterative names.
Stefan the Sonorous. Who was he?
He's the announcer. He's like the
Oh,
MC.
he's like the narrator of the play.
Yeah,
Right.
and it's like the
Right.
story of, well, I mean, we told you what the characters are. The play is supposed to be the story of Rurik and his falling out with Adelburn.
Adelburn. Yeah.
And it's the worst play of all time.
It really is.
Baka is bored with the terrible lines, and he's roasting the hell out of them as they perform the play.
Yes. I was most amused probably by the Char, whose lines are like roar, like ouch.
Yeah, I think the Char is supposed to be zero effort, very bored. Almost maybe a Valley Girl question mark?
Yes, yes.
Um
Yeah.
which is a very 2006 joke to make.
Uh-huh. Yeah, absolutely.
And as the play devolves further, they eventually are just like, all right, well, it's time for plan B. This isn't working. I don't know where
Right.
plan A was going,
Yeah.
but plan B is just to attack everybody. And because this is clear, like we've been invited here specifically, right? This is clearly an assassination attempt on us. I want to say. Maybe Baka also?
Baka is like, this plays at her tripe, and that's when they're like, oh crap, time for plan B. And Merkel's like, Merkel likes Smash.
Yeah, true.
Merkel likes plan B, and I'm like, this is hilarious.
Merkel, truly the Goren of the enemy acting troupe.
Oh yeah, it's really bad. And then the valiant Cornyn smote the Istani interlopers with a righteous fury, which is probably the best line.
Yeah, that's actually genuinely inspired.
Yes.
Tripe is something we need to use more often, I think. I don't think anyone's saying tripe enough these days.
Mm-hmm.
These men are very easy to kill.
Yeah, they were not difficult at all.
I don't know what their I don't know what they thought was gonna go down, but I killed Shiro, man. I mean, I guess this character didn't, but I killed Bale and the Hunger. right? Like,
This is true.
yeah, I've got a
Yeah.
scythe from killing Shiro.
And then Baka doesn't understand what's going on. And thinks that Varish must have changed her mind because these troops, or this troop, Troupe, has decided to try to kill them or him. And so he's like, I've got to like book it and get out of here. I've got to go to Adashim to hide. And so he's like, yeah, talk to my royal finance minister and you'll get a refund for the entrance tickets. And I'm like, what, did I pay for this?
Yeah, that was actually my question as well. I was like, I received an invitation and I showed up, brother. I have not paid for a single thing.
Exactly.
And there's no one else here that might have. Like,
no, but I'll take your money. Yeah.
Yeah, and he says he's going somewhere called Adashim, which
Adashim.
we don't know what that is at this particular time.
No, but it's a term that made me quite excited.
Yes, because it's kind of a neat place that I think you
It
are
is.
going to end up at this episode.
Yes, spent a lot of time there.
I did not get to make it there.
Oh well, okay.
So did you go talk with the royal finance minister for a refund?
Yeah, because he's got your quest reward.
He does, yeah. It's like he gives you like 200 gold or something. I don't know, 4,000 XP that I don't need.
Right. Yeah.
And then does he have? Yeah, he does have our follow-up quest, which is called Warning Kahani, because when we talk to the finance minister, he points out that he's like, yeah, that was obviously a setup, wasn't it? And I was like, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. But we did get a little. We got a little cinematic at the end of this quest.
There's a cinematic in this quest. I don't have it.
Yeah, Norgu and Goren are now work because Baka's ditched them.
Yeah, they're out of work.
Yeah.
Which is when I should have done the Goren Norgu quest, but I did after I finished the mission.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of where this slots in. But we'll talk about it in a little bit.
Yeah.
And he wants since that was obviously a setup, he says they didn't think anything of it because they just paid them a lot of money and promised them Varish's protection.
Right.
Whereas if you kind of, if you're us and you're in the know, it's obvious. But if you're Team Varish, maybe not so obvious, right?
Right. And then a bunch of Cornins attacks them and they run away.
A bunch of Cornins attack Kahani over at the big dome fountain.
Also there, yes. Yeah, the Cornins are like not making.
Well, they can't attack the finance minister. He's in an outpost.
No, but what I'm trying to say is that they're not hiding the fact that they're actually going after.
Oh, right. As far as what happened at the play, yeah, the actors literally disrobed their costumes and attacked us. Actually, they might have attacked us in costume. Come to think of it. Yeah, no. Absolute disaster. And he does suggest we go warn Kahani about the betrayal because apparently her and her priests have no defenses over in what's that place called? Mirror of Liss.
Yes.
And I guess she would be a target because she's like friends with us. It doesn't explain it super well.
I think it's because she's friends with us.
Yeah, so she's on Varys's shit list, basically.
Right.
And we gotta go.
She probably knows because Morgan told her.
Yeah, because Morgan was at the party, and we were buddy with Kahani. So we go over and save Kahani. We roll up on her, and there's like a group of Cornins and a Marganite, and we're like, this is old news to me. I've dealt with many 6 Cornins, 1 Marganite groups.
Yeah, they were not very difficult.
No. And Kahani tells us that we need to talk to some guy we've never met, and she says he'll know what to do next.
Yes.
There's a lot of that this episode. There's a lot of like, all right, go talk to this other guy.
Yeah, he tells us to go talk to the head priest of Vamani.
And I guess these are priests of Lissa. It's never like super specified, but this is Vabi, so this is like the Lissa religion.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, they're all Lyssian?
Lyssites. No, it's not Lyssites.
No.
Um,
Priest of Lyssa. Yeah.
yeah, the Lyssa priesthood, priests of Lys, uh, and they're inside an outpost called the Grand Court of Sebelke.
Yeah. Which for a grand court is very small.
Yeah, it's kind of just a pavilion up in the
Yeah.
up near a fountain.
Mm-hmm.
And he's basically like, "Hey man, the Marganites are here. It's bad news." And I'm like, "I know. I know that already."
Is that what he tells you?
So we zone in and we talk to him. He has a little bit of background about the Marganites. He basically, in case you're brand new, like a brand new player, and you
Right.
don't know what a Marganite is, he's like, "Hey, they're
Right.
minions of Abaddon." We know this already, right?
Yes. Yes, we do.
And then he says that it's almost certain that Morgan did not order the attack on Kahani. So,
Right.
I think Morgan might have supplied the information, but the orders probably came from Varish, because Morgan would never order an attack on the priesthood of Lyssa, because he's a devout Lyssa
Right.
follower.
Yes.
And then he ends his little speech burb with, "Some Vabians are not as foolish as their leaders," and he's like, "We gotta prepare to fight Abaddon and Nightfall."
Yep.
And this is what I've been trying to tell people for like 3 episodes.
I mean, there is that. They're finally like paying attention. So thanks.
At which point we get a quest where we're going to have to diverge paths again.
Yes, it depends. It's dependent on which hero you picked up. So you've got a different quest than I do.
Yeah, so I have a quest. Is the quest called Calling the Order, no matter what?
Nope,
Okay.
that's yours.
Okay.
Mine is called Greed and Regret.
Goodness, that sounds
I
depressing.
know. I know.
Mine sounds quite inspiring. Yours sounds horrid.
Yeah.
What happens during Greed and Regret?
So in Greed and Regret, we've got to go to the halls of choking.
It's like the library, right?
Yeah, it's the library. Yeah, there's librarians there. And we want to, or Margaret tells us, because the head priest guy, he was like, you need to go and find the princes. They're holed up in Adashim, and you need to find the location.
Is
But
it
first, in order to do that, you need to go to the halls of choking to find a book that will tell you where to go.
right? Go to a thing to find the thing. The MacGuffin
Yes.
storytelling tactic.
Yes. Yes.
The Rise of Skywalker method, as it's known now.
Right.
You had to go get the Wayfinder.
Yeah. So you go to the library to find information on the hidden city. A book called The Duality of Lyssa. And Goren is there. And he's like,
it's the last place I would expect to find Goren, at the library.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah, because apparently he's trying to find Boca. Because, Boca ditched him.
And he needs drinking money.
But Goren, how do I describe Goren? Goren is...
He's like a Chewbacca that speaks English.
Goren is a meathead. Let's just put it that way. He is like the stereotypical jock who doesn't think, because he just knows what to do. And he will just follow orders. And that's Goren.
Honestly, that's what you want out of a bodyguard.
I mean, that's it. He swings a heavy hammer. Probably has taken a couple head, is what I'm thinking, as well.
Yeah, probably a couple knocks.
Yeah. So he's like, yeah, Margaret's like, oh, look, there's the book. And he's like, pretty lady, what are you doing here? And she, are you calling me? And they've got a really interesting, like, little banter, which is kind of cute. And
so Goren, does he like officially have a crush on Margaret the Sly?
I think he's crushing on Margaret.
He's simping hard,
and yeah, and he calls her my lady. And she's like, I'm not. I'm like, of course they're like, don't just stop calling me. Just call me Margaret. And he's like, sure, my lady Margaret. And she's just like, oh God.
She's like, whatever you're trying to make this, it's not that.
Right. And he's like, yeah, don't pick up the book. And she's like, no, you don't understand. I need that book. I'm gonna pick it up. And you pick up the book, and of course the library defenses pop up. And what are they? They're like fucking Jinn. So you've got to defeat the Jinn. And then you talk to Goren, and Goren's like, "Are you trying to get into the Adashim? I know how to get in. You could have just asked me." And we're like, "Of course." So
Wait, Goren knows how to get into the Hidden City?
yes,
Of course he does, because he worked for Baka.
all right,
That makes sense now.
and yeah, so you go to a hidden entrance, which is in front of a cliff. It's just it looks like a mountain wall. You go in there, and he's like, okay, you've got to do this, and you slash dance. And he's like, and that will get you in. And you're like, are you kidding me with this? Which I think is actually what Margaret says. And he's like, no, just trust me. And we're like, okay, sure. So you dance, and all of a sudden, poof, an NPC floats in, and it is the Lock of Adashim.
And he's
The Lock's like, what?
he's like, you need 10 players to complete a raid wing. Come back with more people.
I know. I was like, oh my God, it's the Lock and the Key of Adashim
Yeah.
all over again. And I did not like. I straight up had forgotten all of what Adashim was in this game because all I remember is from Guild Wars 2 raid. And so it was kind of nice from that standpoint. It was kind of nice, a bit of a memory trip, nostalgia, but in the wrong direction.
I seem to remember it's a lot of piles of coins and a lot of turquoise and a lot of gin.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's my memory of the Hidden City of Adashim.
That is it in a nutshell. And so the lock gets you basically sort of in. You've got to talk to the lock, who'll then let you in if you talk to the key, and then you can get it. And the Lock of Adashim is like, what, that meathead told you how to get in? Okay, sure.
The Lock of Adashim is sitting there like, goodness gracious, we have to fix our security.
Yeah, pretty much. And you get a cinematic, and then some Jinn show up, and they're like, you can't get in. We're here to protect the princes. They don't need you. They've got us. And we're like, great, we're gonna go in anyway because we need to talk to them. And they're basically like, do this at your peril, and we're like, bring it on. And so you walk in at the end of the cinematic into
the mission staging area.
Mission staging area of the Hidden City of Adashim.
And I think the mission that you have to do is literally just called the Hidden City of Adashim. It's like
the mission is called Dasha Vestibule.
Oh, okay. So I was objectively wrong there. Gotcha.
Yeah, well, you would think that it would be called Adashim. No, I think that's the name of the raid wing.
Probably.
Dasha Vestibule. Why Dasha? Why Vestibule? I don't know. These are questions that I would like to ask the devs these days. It's not a vestibule. It's like freaking ginormous.
I have similar questions about the name of my mission, actually.
Tell me about your quest to get into your mission.
Yeah, so my quest is called Calling the Order. Basically, we're back at Grand Court of Sibelka, and High Priest Vamani has just suggested that I go talk to the Master of Whispers about recruiting the Order of Whispers, and I was like, I thought we already did that.
Yeah.
I thought they were already on our team. What do you mean?
Right.
Their leader literally works for me. Like, I sign his paycheck. So apparently I have to re-recruit these motherfuckers. So I go back to Vimani also gives a little bit of background on the Order of Whispers. He mentions that they were apparently part of Turai Asa's elite spy network back when Turai Asa was a thing. Yeah.
Okay.
And that the
That's good flavor.
Yeah, and that the Order of Whispers are the ones who sealed Joko in his tomb, which I think we already know, but maybe not. I don't know. It was news to me, right? Maybe I forgot it.
Okay.
Master of Whispers, obviously required hero, right? So I'm rolling out with him. And we head to the Chantry of Secrets to recruit the Order of Whispers. And apparently the person we talked to do this is a Whispers acolyte, which I thought acolytes were like rung one on the ladder in most organizations. But apparently it's like a high rank in the Order of Whispers. So the Whispers acolyte is like, listen, we can help you, but there's some Hecate going on out here that are a real problem.
Those Hecate. Okay, now it's all making sense. All right.
Yeah, so he says that the Hecate are apparently under Abaddon's influence, so that's been an issue.
Okay.
And that since they're stretched thin dealing with the Hecate, we got to help them kill some Marganites. So we head out to the countryside. I don't know, one of these explorable areas. And we gotta defend against two pincering groups of Marganites. One is Rangers and one is Warriors. And we can like talk to a Whispers guy, and he'll be like, "Well, my group can go handle one, and then you go handle the others," which is like a primer to how I have to handle the Whispers troops in the mission.
Oh, okay.
And I send them to deal with the Rangers because I'm a 100 blades dervish, or not 100 blades, vow of strength dervish. Right. Fighting melee guys is my bread and butter. So I go one shot those warriors with like one whirlwind attack, and then I show up in time to help the Whispers guys kill the other Rangers. So that solves that, and now I've got the Order of Whispers on my side. And the Order of Whispers is basically says they'll join us. Norgu is also here, by the way. I don't know why Norgu's also here. I guess he got fired by Baka and was just like, I am also in the wilderness. I will also fight Marganites with you.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, it's not clear why he's there. Because this is what my note says. My note says, I show up and there's a bunch of Whispers dudes and Norgu for some reason. So I don't know why he's here.
I guess they needed to give him purpose.
Yeah, so Goren showed up for you, so they were like, just stick Norgu in there. I don't know. And we talked to Norgu, and he says that I don't know how to pronounce this. DZ. Do you know what sound that makes? Z.
It's like
Zagan. Yeah, the Zagan Citadel is under attack by Marganites. And we need to go link up with Amter, the Mighty, to get that shit fixed. So I think the princes that are hiding in the Dasha vestibule are the other two. Because Amter's chilling.
And Metu, yeah.
Yeah, because Amter's chilling up here with me, like running shit. And I go up to meet Amter at one of these other explorable areas. And he points out that while his brothers live in opulence, he spends his money defending like the countryside. So
actually like doing work.
Yeah, he's like, I'm the only one that has a job. I'm the only one in my family that is employed. We're basically.
Are they related? Like, is that like the thing? They're all brothers.
I don't know actually. I don't know if they're all related. They're all princes, but there is no king.
Right.
I think prince is like the highest ranking office you can achieve in Vabi. I think they just think that's cool. They're like, princes are cooler than kings.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. There's some like gold, frankincense, and myrrh type shit going on here. I basically shake his hand and go, "We're happy to work with you. Also, we recruited the Order of Whispers," and he's like, "That's real cool."
Nice.
And then there's a cutscene, and Varish and Morgan. Did you get this cutscene with Varish and Morgan? Okay,
I did. Yeah.
This is the quest to end cutscene, I think, like the pre-mission cutscene.
Right.
How did this cutscene go for you?
Well, Morgan rolls up and tells Varish that they've located the Sun Spears, and she's like, "Yeah, who cares? That's not even important anymore."
I love these cutscenes where Varish is just blowing off Morgan.
It's terrible. It's so bad. And she's like, no, everything is ready. And he's like, but there's got to be an easier way. And she's like, no, this is for the good of all of Alona. and that's what it's about.
Yeah. She doesn't explicitly say what the plan is. She just
No.
mentions that it involves she doesn't even really mention that what it involves. Morgan's objections inform us of what it involves. He asks her not to hurt any Listen priests.
Yeah.
And she's like, I promise we won't hurt your precious priests.
Right.
And then she also mentions that she questions his loyalty. She's like, are you loyal
Yeah.
to me or are you loyal to your homeland? Indicating that
Right.
I think he is Vabian. Because she calls it his homeland.
Yeah, I think so, because that would make sense why he's a follower of Bliss.
Which I could also see why he turned away from Vabi, because General Morgan's very like no nonsense, and Vabi's like maximum nonsense.
Which kind of makes you wonder why he wasn't hanging out with Amtur. Because if Amtur is the guy who's like getting shit done, like surely that's a prince that Morgan can get behind.
Amtur is like the Vabian version of getting shit done, which is still like
Yeah.
50% horseshit.
This is true.
Yeah,
This
so
is
I
true.
think even Amtur couldn't cut it in Morgan's eyes. He was like, I'm a military man. I need to go join a military nation.
Yeah. Which Corna fits the bill.
Yes. And then so after that conversation, did it cut to your character with Margaret?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, because it cut back to me hanging out with Norgu and Master of Whispers.
Yeah, this is when I got the Jinn saying, no, we're gonna keep them safe. You guys can't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And what happened in mine is so we go. Have you heard Norgu in a cutscene yet?
Yeah. Yes, he's kind of got a goofy voice.
He's got like a New Jersey accent. he's like a Jersey Shore cast member.
Oh my god.
He's like, I don't even know how to do I can't do the voice.
Good audience. We should have sold tickets.
Hush.
Excuse me, Mr. Big-Time Secret Keeper.
Will you be quiet?
At least Prince Amtur is attacking the problem head-on, instead of sneaking around.
Norgu,
I mean, no one even knows your real name.
my task rests heavy on my shoulders. I do not engage in such frippery.
Shh. Keep it down. He's talking.
But yeah, he sounds like he's from the East Coast, United States. And he's pointing out that
Use guys.
Yeah, like that sort of thing, exactly.
And
he's pointing out that the Master of Whispers, nobody knows his real name, and the Master of Whispers is like, don't talk about my name. And then, since this is before my mission, which is the Zaganer Bastion mission, basically, Marganites are attacking Vabi, right? And we got to defend it. It's pretty cut and dry. It's not complicated. Right. And Amtur gives like a battle speech, and it's actually a pretty like kicking speech. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
His voice actor does a really good job. It sounds dope. I'll put in a little clip from it here.
Soldiers of Vabi, we face our ultimate foe. There has not been a battle like this since Tyria Asa himself defeated Palawa Joko at the Battle of Jahai.
Nice.
Because it's not bad. Yeah. More props to not just the voice actors, but the voice directing in Nightfall. They seem to consistently be able to produce decent work here. So, good stuff from Amtur the Mighty. And then I spawn in the Dzaganer Bastion, and I ask Miranda for my quest reward. And the interesting thing about Miranda, who is my mission NPC, she's also appears to be Norgu's girlfriend? ?
What?
Yeah, she's.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, she's like, Norgu can't really fight, and I know he's an actor, but he can't really act either. And then she goes, but when you blow the candles out, ooh, never mind. Yeah, no, it's risque. Guys, go look up Lieutenant Miranda on the wiki if you want some.
I took some quest from her after the fact because I was, doing a quest chain. Yeah. Oh wow. Okay. No, I did not know that she and
Norgu are like a straight up item, or at least she thinks they are.
Really does like its romance plots.
Oh yeah, they wheedle
We've
them
established this.
Yeah, they just dribble them in like wherever. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah.
The question I had, so you were wondering like why Dasha Vestibule, right? So as far as I can tell, the citadel that I'm defending is the Zagan Citadel or the Citadel of Zagan. I don't know where it becomes Zaganur, but it is on the map as Zaganur Bastion. So
Yes.
I don't know what's happening there, but mission ensue. So your mission, Dasha Vestibule is kind of a harrowing experience.
Yes. When you said, "Oh, my mission's pretty quick. I can re-record it." And I was like, that must be nice.
Yeah.
Because that was my re-recording was not by choice. Because I literally had run this I think 3, maybe 4 times before I got the complete run. And part of that was, we'll just blame the Ruby Djinn because I hate them. And also their friends. They sometimes pal around with roaring ethers, but really they like to hang around. Mostly in the mission, they were Sapphire Djinn, which are not a big deal at all.
Really, Ruby Djinn are the only dangerous Djinn, but they
they're
are
really obnoxious.
They are the most dangerous enemy in maybe the whole game.
When they pal around with roaring ethers, which will drain your energy, while they are the Ruby Djinn spiking you down, it's not a good time.
Yeah.
And what's worse is when you have pop-up Ruby Djinn. That's a fun time. Not. So there was like one area, because basically you have to go in and try and pass the trials. This is one of those missions. You have to pass 3 trials in order to let the Djinn let you pass, so that you can go in and find the princes in the sanctum area of the hidden city. Meanwhile, you've got Margaret, who's a Corsair, and the bonus for this mission is she wants to steal the treasures out of.
So she wants to pilfer the city.
She wants to pilfer, yeah, and it's hilarious because when you get the mission start dialogue, the Lock of Adashim is like, "What do you want? We're not here to pilfer." It's the first thing that you say, and I'm just really, because we've got Margaret with us. So you go in and you basically have 2 branching paths, like left or right, and then a center path. You have to start at the center in order to then be able to go in to either left or right. Before then, you can go back into the center to go past that first little area, the vestibule, if you will.
Now, what does the wiki say you should do?
You should go and do the little part first, and then left or right, because you've got to pass the trials. There's no way around the trials.
Okay, so you have to do this mission in a certain order.
Yeah, you have to do the trial of, I think it's the trial of eternity first. Yes, the trial of eternity, which isn't it's not that difficult. You just have to kill some Djinn that have environmental effects, like skill recharge slows you down, you move, and you've got some health degen, but it doesn't really even, like, you can't even, I didn't really notice a real effect from them because we were just taking them out faster than they could really affect us. And then you've got to, if you want to do the bonus, you've got to kill some special boss Djinns to get their keys so that you can go and unlock their chests and pilfer them for Margaret. So the first one is the Ruby of Adashim, so Ruby Djinn. But he's by himself, so it doesn't matter. He's not a big deal when he's just by himself. You could just kill him.
If there's 2 or more Ruby Djinn, you are in for a bad time. 1 is manageable.
What happens though is that if you get close to any of the treasure chests, with or without a key, you'll have a pop-up mob that pops up, And there will be 1 or 2 ruby gin, with some sapphire gin, and I think one of them has. I think there might be some ethers in there.
Now, what
Uh,
is a roaring ether?
So a roaring ether has like lioness, factions, enemies, lioness.
The like the Temple Guardians
The temple guardians.
from
Thank you.
Tenekai Temple.
Yes, and the roaring ethers are and they like to drain your energy.
Spam energy surge. Yeah, which
spam energy surge, which is
not
let
only
me tell you,
not only a high damage skill, but it deletes like 10 or 12 energy or something like that.
it's terrible. So I then started to prioritize the ethers over even the gin, because I was like, it doesn't matter. I've got skills that will top us up. My monks, even if they die, I'm sure we can keep them alive. Someone will bring them back. I just got to get rid of ether. And so long as I did that, we were okay.
Yeah, because they have resurrection signet also, so they'll resurrect each other.
Yeah. So, so long as I was able to do that and not get close to the chests by accident a lot of the times to get the pop-up mobs of Jin, this mission is not that bad. But when you get a little bit too close because you're trying to like move stuff, like get nuked yourself because you don't want to die, and then you can't let Goren die. And Goren
you have to bring Goren with you, or is he a mission NPC?
He's a mission NPC. He has to survive in order for the mission to succeed. If Goren dies, the mission is a fail, and you have to restart it.
Gotcha.
And sometimes, if you get yourself in danger by getting too close to a chest for fucking Margaret, then Goren, you can get killed. And Goren is kind of dumb. He doesn't really fight, and will just walk into shit. And I'm like, bro, what are you doing? You're just taking damage. You're not doing. And now everybody.
He takes his duties as a bodyguard very seriously. And he's like, no, I'm a bodyguard. I stand in front of you. I'm guarding you. Like, he's like, I am quite literally a meat shield.
Yes. Yes. Yep. So, yep. I stupidly brought Elias. I don't know why. I think he could get some meat shields out in
no corpses from
one
Jin.
area. No corpses from the Jin. So no. And, you thought that I would have realized, hey, we could probably bring in, what's her name?
Milani.
What's her name? Milani. And have a little bit more, usefulness. No. I brute forced my way through that with Elias as just doing nothing.
Spamming, like, Blood of the Master,
Auto
dealing one minion he was able to scrounge up.
Right, yeah. So, yeah. So you do this Trial of Eternity first, and then I went to the left to go over and do the Trial of Divinity. And that one, you find some Divine Guardians. Their room is not that cool. It's got like some Sapphire Gin, some Roaring Ethers. But the Sapphire Gin are just dervishes, and they're not that difficult. And then you go into a room with Divine Guardians, random questions to identify the god Tyria. And so long as you answer them correctly, you don't get their little pop-up mob of Jin to fight. And away you go.
And when you're running around in Adashim, like the floor underneath like the bridges that you're on is just like a sea of gold coins, like of treasure.
Yeah.
Right?
No, I think that's in the raid wing.
Maybe it's in the explorable area for vanquishing,
yeah,
but maybe not in the mission.
There's some areas that have like translucent floors. There's
okay.
Kind of like the opulent like rugs carpets, like the magic carpets, floors, for bridges. They have a lot of they like a lot of like water features, which this being Guild Wars 1, you can't swim in, so you just walk up to it and you can't walk through, and you're like, what the hell? I've got to go all the way around.
You admire it.
You admire it. Yes, it's so pretty, the water. And then the last trial over on the right side is called the Trial of Wisdom. And Goren here is actually because the Trial of Wisdom is a math puzzle. And he's like, I hate math. I hate quizzes, but I hate math more. And I'm like, boy, you and me, yes, we can be.
I'm kind of vibing with Goren at this point, honestly.
Yeah, pretty much. And this area, there's some diamond gin there, and they will use
I think they're paragons.
Yeah, I think so. I killed them too quick, to be honest with you. The Thunder of Adashim is the area, is the area that I'm thinking of, the enemies. But yeah, they'll use a skill called Quake of Adashim, which is a knockdown, so you just basically stay away from them. Don't pick up any of the keys that are on the floor until you've killed them all, and then you do your math puzzle.
What was the math puzzle? Was it easy?
I mean, if you follow the wiki, the wiki gives you the answer, so yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah. There's like 4 obelisks, and they are numbered with 2, 3, 5, and 7, and then there's like 6 pedestals, and you've got to like match up the pairs that
that sucks.
Correspond. Yeah. No, I was just like, thank God for the wiki and the answers.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So once you clear those trials, you can then go. And then you've got some 3 djinn bosses they kind of meander, and so really the name of the game is pull one at a time, which is what I did. And I left I think there's a elementalist one, a ruby one last, so I left him till last. Because I think the wiki was like, kill him first, and I was like, he's milling about by himself. I'll kill the other 2 first.
Yeah, if he's alone, it's not too big of an issue.
Yeah. And so once you get past those 3 guards, you get a cutscene. And Margaret's like, it's piles of gold, piles of riches, I love it. And the princes come out, and they're like, no, we're fine here. And they're like, your country needs you. Varish has betrayed you. Are you gonna just let your people die?
And they're like, well, yes, of course.
And then Boka's like, we're fine. We're safe. Everything's fine. And yeah. Mechu's a little bit more reasonable. He thinks that they've been terrible fools, that they should be protecting the people and using the djinn to protect the people, not themselves.
But does he actually, like, take action, or is he just...
I mean, he says it. And then Baka's like, speak for yourself. I'm going to find a more secure location. And he tells Goren to fetch his stand chair, and Goren's like, fetch it yourself, I quit. Which is, he's thinking for himself.
Hell yeah. I have a question. Yeah. Does Baka expect Goren to carry the sedan chair all by himself?
I think he just... It's funny because, like, this isn't the first time he tells Goren.
Right, it's like his exit phrase, fetch my sedan chair.
Yeah, and it's like he's a bodyguard, but he's also treating him like...
a pack mule.
Yeah. So, no, Goren, good on Goren. He's like, the real leader earns the loyalty of his people. He doesn't bully him. So I thought that was really smart of Goren.
Boka
tries to, like, bribe him, and basically Goren tells him to fuck off.
And then
Margaret's
Goren,
like, it's okay. Yeah.
and then Goren finds himself unemployed, and we talk to him like in a quest, and he's like, "Yeah, I quit my job. Do you want a back? Do you want a back rub?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Well, it's hilarious because at the end of that cutscene, after Goren quits, Margaret is there to kind of like console him after they've been palling around.
oh, does she
You
give
know,
him a?
flirtatiously.
Does she give him a back rub?
No, but she's just like, forget it. There's more to life than money. And your character's like, wait, did you say that what I think you said? And she's like, don't ever tell anyone that I said that.
She has a reputation to maintain.
Yeah, exactly.
Ever
So
like I don't think we ever get to see Baka on a sedan chair.
no, it would be good though.
But just the line makes me, every time I think of Baka, instead of thinking of his actual model, I think of that guy from 300 that gets his arm cut off with the whip. Because that guy's in a sedan chair. Well, it's more of a sedan platform, but yeah.
Right.
That sounds like a harrowing mission. How many times did you have to like wipe and have to restart this?
I think 4.
Ouch.
Yeah, it was really annoying. And it was always like that one area, but once I like commit myself and Goren, it was okay. And so long as I didn't, like I said, didn't get too close to the treasure chest for the pop-up mobs, then it was okay. Because that first room, the key that you get is not for that chest, and if you get close to the chest, the mob pops up.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter. So
and then Goren just dies.
And then Goren just dies.
Because he's level 18. It's not even level 20.
Yeah. No.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that leaves you with like kind of having secured Prince Metu's aid?
Metu.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
We're
know
still
where the
working.
heck Baka is. Baka is still like just.
Honestly, we can do this without Baka.
I kind of think yes.
Yeah, so my mission is up at Desagener Bastion, way up in the north, like wilderness. The Mursat have like Abaddon portals, not the Mursat, the Marganites. They might as well be the Mursat.
I know.
They're the Nightfall Mursat have Abaddon portals open, and they're pouring through. So I hit the enter mission button, and Prince Amter is there, and he's like, walk into this portal to start the mission. So I do that, and there's 3 groups of Whispers guys, and you can command, and there's 3 gates, and you can command the Whispers guys to defend. And what might occur to you is like, oh, I'll have 1 group per gate, 3 gates, 3 groups, no brainer. What the wiki says you should do is send 2 groups to 1 gate, 1 group to the middle gate, and then you take the other side gate.
Okay.
So I did that, and the mission went swimmingly. I got the master's reward in like 6 minutes. It's great because you can easily juggle 2 gates yourself. And then if you put 2 groups to the other gate, they'll be able to handle that no problem. And you just have to defend a couple waves until the bosses spawn, and then you just go through the back and kill all the bosses, and you win. So it's a very easy mission. There are just Marganites and Cornins. There are no Jinn to give you a bad time. And that's the whole mission.
That sounds lovely.
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
That sounds like. It just sounds like such a lovely time.
Yeah.
You could have like had a picnic while you were in there.
I could have had a picnic in the time I had to wait between some of these spawns, I'll tell you that. It took fucking forever sometimes. So yeah, I did that, and then at the end there was a cutscene, and the Master of Whispers tells us his name is Jura.
Jura.
Maybe no, Jorah is a hero in Eye of the North. His name is Jura.
Yeah.
Jureh, I want to say.
Of course. Okay.
So that's like it's supposed to be a big reveal, but it's kind of like a deflationary reveal because it's not an interesting name. Just like, oh, your name is Dan. Okay. Cool. I think I'm going to keep calling you the Master of Whispers. That's way better.
It sounds cooler.
Yeah. And then after he tells us that, or before he tells us that, actually, Amter agrees to work with us. He's like, yeah, you guys are dope. I'm with you. And then my character is like, see, isn't he awesome? So my character and Amter, very good friends.
Oh,
And then,
nice.
yeah, and then a bunch of like insect slash and or arachnid legs pop up out of the floor.
Yes, we also had that.
Yeah, and
And they're like, "Oh no, what is that?" And then it's like, "Oh wait, nightfall is a bad time."
yeah, we're like, oh yeah, demons are attacking the land. I forgot about that
Right.
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we've got insectoid legs just popping up out of the ground to deal with. And when
No,
that's
I was expecting more out of the insectoid, to be honest.
well,
I was like, "Is that it?"
they will be a persistent issue throughout the end of the game.
Yes, I do recall that much, but I was expecting more here for whatever reason.
I actually was like, yeah, does this cutscene end and I have to fight a bunch of torment claws? Like, but
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, and I was like, "Oh shit."
yeah, but
But
it
no.
turns out we don't. We just we're like, well, those are fine there, and we'll go off and continue the plot. So we leave those there, and then I spawn maybe back in Kodash Bazaar. I don't know, spawn somewhere.
Yeah.
Because I think I
Sounds
grabbed
right.
the next primary quest, which is like, it's not called Rally the Princes, but it's called like a similar set of words that mean the same thing. Um, and that's where we're going to continue the plot next episode. Hey guys, Aaron in the edit again. This is where this episode's going to end. We will be putting the side questing discussion up, but as I said at the beginning, it did have severe audio glitching, so it might be a bit of a difficult listen. That's why it's going to be a bonus episode. So stay tuned for that, coming in about a week, and I hope you enjoyed episode 38.